Hey viewers, this is Set Salutations coming to you with a Wednesday reading. I'll be reading a piece called Waterfall that I wrote back in senior year of high school for a class. And it turned into a 24-page short story, which I'm proud of to be my longest story ever. I'm going to read an excerpt of it today. If you like it, please comment. If you don't like it, comment too. But please comment if you like it so I can read more of it. And enjoy. It's called Waterfall. Splash. Off non-existent diving board they go. The car shoots into the water of no escape, and the cold air is all of a sudden not that bad. It's what they want to get back to. Underwater, he stares at her through his majestic blue eyes. She looks back at him, but she is lost, and the water is blinding her. Sometimes water can be seductive, but now it will take life from them as they fall to the river's bottom. The bright moon blurs above them, but neither of them will ever get to see it again. Red is dyeing in the water, and they can't escape it. The salt will not help in this case, only shrivel them up faster. The red buggy falls below them, and they fly down above it. They will not reach the bottom without closing their eyes, and they know it. He probably would have tried to save her. Maybe the girl too. Save himself. Maybe the girl too. But he didn't. His reasoning is confusing, and he doesn't even know now that his brain cells are diluting and he's losing consciousness. He would have liked to be her Superman, but he wasn't that kind of man. But he wasn't the kind of man she thought of when men drove past her in expensive cars. Now the water is all red, clogging up their noses and lungs. Both of them know that their last image was to be of each other. And that was meant to be. Like the way the news captured it the next day. Headline: Brian Humphrey, acclaimed swimmer, sinks to death in river. And Humphrey, sunk to death, couldn't even save himself or innocent bystander. And even some fate for a swimmer, Humphrey killed by water. And the words popping up all over the articles were just the worst kind of words that someone could be remembered by. The Daily News used words like magical and seemingly fish-like next to ones like murdering water navigator. No mention of the girl, beyond the way that they used her to make the case that he was a fake swimming champion, and should have his Olympic title taken away. They said he couldn't even save her, and just last week they were calling him the sweetest hunk the scene had ever had. But competitive swimming can never be compared to sinking to your death, and his status sunk in the river. Like an angel losing his wings, Cafe is where she spends her mornings. A regular hazelnut coffee, very dark, no sugar. It's what she must have at 9 a.m., atop with the clean but worn, not dirty counter. She holds the cup with her long nails curled around the handle, and the warm side heating her cold palms. She always likes to watch the bacon fry, and just the smell would fill her appetite for the real breakfast. Off she goes as she drops $2 on the counter, and her pockets assorted change. Off she goes to her third job interview this week. Hope nobody notices the way her deep blue shoes don't quite match her bright red lipstick. But at least her brown suit jacket looks professional. And dark short hair always seems to give the serious impression she wants to give off. Her heels click, and she steps into the elevator, and the doors close. She arrives at the 12th floor. The doors pop open, and he runs onto the green carpeting. He's late for an interview with Oprah. Well, just in time for makeup. But in his mind, he feels like the rabbit repeating, I'm late, I'm very, very late. He's panting, and his shoelaces are slowly untying themselves. But he won't fall. He just looks kind of sloppy, still attractive to all the secretaries, who he passes by with a quick smirk. One yells as he passes, How was the water this morning, baby Brian? He doesn't answer, but just turns at the corner, where the door to his dressing room is. He runs in, and his manager shakes his head, but Brian's thoughts are too clogged with what he must say on the show in 20 minutes. How should he act? What hand gestures should he make? Should he pull a Tom Cruise? Will they want him to take his shirt off and show up his abs? Will Oprah be attracted to him, and will she flirt with him the whole time? Oh, he's not nervous, it's just Oprah. So he gets in the seat raised in front of the wall-length mirror. A mohawked-haired woman with black nails asks him if he wants another shave. He tells her he needs a sped-up makeover of his dreams. Her eyebrows rise up, and she stares at him through the mirror. So she goes to work on his makeover. He falls asleep, but he must wake up soon, as someone calls his name. "Angela McElberry, please follow me," says the wide-smiled, chunky woman in the doorway. She waves her hand over to where Angela is sitting. She gets up, takes her belongings in one hand, and moving the hair out of her face with the other. She brushes her side, and left, right, left, she goes. The fluorescent lights make her sweat under her covered forehead. Oh, she's not nervous. This is only the third one this week. What can possibly go wrong, she thinks as she steps past the chunky secretary into the room with the window looking across into another crowded office. The black leather chair is turned around, facing the wall of books, and a portrait of JFK hung between the bookshelves. Angela stood behind the desk, next to a potted green-leafed plant. She put her palm out to shake the interviewer's hand. The chair swooshed around, and Brian was running onto the brightly lit stage. Nothing like television, he thought while running. Hands waved in the air like he just won the medal all over again. He hears her voice making vibrations of his name. Brian Humphrey. Running up to the front row, he hugs one brunette woman, as she mouths to herself and cries aloud, "Oh my, oh my, oh my." The woman looks into the screen with bursting awe. Brian's shoulders around her as he faces a pool of women in their mid to late 30s. He suddenly gets to let go of the woman, as he realizes her shaking and crying. But by now, that was the norm, as he went back to sit with Oprah on that brown leather couch that would be so comfortable. He looks into the eyes of 30,000 Americans, and of course Oprah, and says, "So, let's get down to business, shall we, Miss McElberry?" "Okay, sure. I have your portfolio right here, and it says that you would like a secretarial job. This is true, no?" Well, truly, wasn't her dream job, but for now it would do. She still had to pay her band roommate every month's rent, and that job seemed most realistic to keep her off the streets. "So," Angela answered with a nod, and the dry, repetitive conversation continued. Then the interviewer behind the desk put her glasses down and told her that she would get a call in a few hours to a few days, sounding very hopeful in the eyes of a desperate girl. Angela smiled. Her eyes widened, and she wrote down the woman's number, thanked her again, as she read in job interviews for dummies. She stood up, trying to leave the interviewer with a good reputation of herself. They shook hands, and Angela softly whispered, "I hope I didn't take up too much of your time, miss." "Oh, it's not a problem at all. Good day." Turning around, Angela clicked her heels, and she was off as her cell phone started ringing and singing. "I saw her face in a crowded place. I don't know what to do." He picked it up as he shifted himself into a limo. A picture of his ex was blinking on the screen, her name flowing across the middle. Chloe, Chloe, Chloe. He thinks to himself, why would she call? But before he has time to ask or say anything else, Chloe yells into the phone, Bri, I just saw my favorite man on television. Oh, you were so cute." "My little schnookums. Dinner tonight, Bri?" He thought about it, didn't really want to. She was his ex-girlfriend, and he didn't really have an interest in her anymore. He might never have, really. So he answered, "You know, I'm very stressed out, Chloe. I don't need your pile of bullshit on top of—" She cut him off. "But honey bear, I know a place downtown. It's a place to be. Oh, you would love it. The lighting is just so perfect and the dance floor is always packed. But I'm taking a plane to Tokyo in the morning, and all I have time for is a cup of coffee at the most." He sighed as he